There is a silent law at work in your life right now. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't ask permission. It doesn't care about your excuses, your past, or your intentions. It operates in the shadows of your thoughts, shaping your decisions before you even realize a choice has been made. And whether you rise into power or remain trapped in repetition is not decided by talent, luck, or circumstance. It is decided by whether you understand this law and live in alignment with it. Most people never do. They wake up each morning with ambition in their chest, but confusion in their direction. They feel the pull of something greater, yet they keep orbiting the same small results, the same patterns, the same disappointments. Not because they are weak, but because no one ever taught them the truth. Success is not an event. It is a state of being commanded from within. History has always belonged to those who grasped this early. Not the smartest, not the most privileged, but the most internally disciplined. Thomas Edison failed more than 1,000 times before light filled a dark world. Andrew Carnegie rose from poverty not by chance, but by an iron certainty that his thoughts would one day harden into steel empires. Henry Ford was laughed at for insisting the common man deserved power. And then he built an industry that reshaped civilization. None of them waited for permission. None of them asked for validation. They moved because something inside them refused to stay small. And that same force is waiting inside you. The world will tell you that success is about hustle, connections, timing, or talent. That is surface-level thinking, the kind that keeps people busy but never fulfilled. The deeper truth is this: your outer world can never rise above the level of your inner order. Your results are not random, they are obedient. They obey the image you hold of yourself when no one is watching. Every thought you repeat becomes an instruction. Every belief you accept becomes a command. Every emotion you entertain becomes a direction. This is the hidden law most people never see, that life responds with ruthless precision to the identity you claim. If you see yourself as someone waiting for a break, life will give you waiting rooms. If you see yourself as someone becoming, life will open doors that didn't exist before. This is not motivation. This is alignment. And alignment begins the moment you stop negotiating with your potential. There comes a point, quiet, uncomfortable, unmistakable, when you realize that the life you want is on the other side of the person you've been pretending to be. The habits that once protected you now imprison you. The comfort that once soothed you now suffocates you. And the excuses you've rehearsed for years start to sound hollow. This is where most people turn back, because transformation demands separation. Separation from old routines, old conversations, old versions of yourself that no longer fit the future you claim to want. The world does not reward desire. It rewards decision. A decision is not a wish. It is a line drawn in the soul. When you decide, truly decide, your behavior reorganizes itself around that commitment. You wake up different. You move with intention. You stop asking how long it will take and start asking what must be done today. This is the moment when ordinary effort becomes disciplined action. Discipline is not punishment. It is self-respect in motion. It is the willingness to do what is required long after the excitement fades, when no one is clapping, when progress feels invisible, when comfort whispers for you to slow down. Discipline is the bridge between the vision you hold in your mind and the reality you demand in your life. And make no mistake, the world will test whether you truly believe in what you say you want. It will delay you. challenge you, distract you. It will tempt you with easier paths that lead nowhere. Not to punish you, but to reveal the depth of your commitment. Because desire without discipline is fantasy, and discipline without belief is torture. But when belief and discipline move together, when your thoughts, habits, and actions align, something rare happens. Momentum is born, and momentum, once awakened, is unstoppable. You stop chasing opportunities and begin attracting them. You stop waiting for permission and start creating proof. You stop reacting to life and start directing it. This is the moment where most people quietly fall behind, not because they lack ability, but because they lack clarity. They don't know what they are building toward, so their effort scatters, energy leaks, focus dissolves. Clarity is not optional. It is oxygen for ambition. When your vision is precise, your mind organizes itself around it. Your decisions become simpler. Your distractions lose their power. Your time becomes sacred. You stop confusing movement with progress. This is why every great achiever from Napoleon Hill's era to today obsessed over clarity. Not motivation, not hype, clarity. Because clarity creates certainty, and certainty creates momentum. Once you know where you're going, the noise fades. Comparison loses its grip. Doubt has nowhere to land. You stop measuring yourself against others and start measuring yourself against your own potential. And that is where the real work begins. The work of becoming. Not someday. Not when conditions are perfect. Now. The version of you that achieves more, earns more, leads more, and lives with purpose is not waiting in the future. It is waiting in your decisions today. In the discipline you practice when no one is watching. In the standard you refuse to lower. In the thoughts you allow to shape your identity. This is the hidden law. Those who rise understand it. Those who stay average ignore it. And the difference between the two is not talent. It is alignment. The moment alignment takes hold, something subtle but irreversible begins to happen inside you. Your tolerance for distraction shrinks. Your patience for excuses disappears. You start to feel discomfort, not from effort, but from stagnation. The same habits that once felt normal now feel suffocating. The same conversations feel empty. The same routines feel like chains. This is not dissatisfaction. It is awakening. Because once your mind locks onto a higher standard, the old version of life can no longer satisfy you. And this is where many people misunderstand the process. They think growth should feel empowering at every step. But real growth often feels lonely before it feels victorious. It isolates you before it elevates you. When you begin to change internally, your environment doesn't immediately catch up. People may question you. Some will misunderstand your silence. Others will mock your discipline. Not because you're wrong, but because your transformation threatens their comfort. Every great builder of history walked this path. When Abraham Lincoln chose principle over popularity, he carried the weight of a divided nation on his back. When Walt Disney was told he lacked imagination, he carried the ridicule quietly while building a vision no one else could yet see. When Napoleon Hill studied the most powerful minds of his era, he learned a truth few were willing to accept. Success isolates before it elevates. This is the cost of becoming uncommon. You must be willing to walk alone long enough for the world to catch up to your direction. And in that solitude, something extraordinary happens. You begin to hear your own thinking clearly. The noise fades. The doubts quiet. You start to recognize which thoughts empower you and which ones drain you. You become selective with your focus, ruthless with your time, protective of your energy. This is mastery in its earliest form. The average person reacts to life. The disciplined individual designs it. Reaction is emotional. Design is intentional. When you react, your circumstances dictate your state of mind. When you design, your inner state shapes your circumstances. This is the pivot point between chaos and control. Understand this. Your mind is always working toward something. If you do not give it a clear target, it will default to fear, comfort, and distraction. But when you give it a definite aim, it becomes a powerful servant instead of a reckless master. This is why visualization is not fantasy. It is instruction. The mind must see before the world can follow. Every invention, every movement, every transformation began as a mental image held long enough to become real. Your imagination is not entertainment. It is the drafting table of reality. When you visualize your future with emotion, detail, and conviction, you begin to rewire your behavior automatically. You stand differently. You speak differently. You choose differently. Without forcing it, your actions start aligning with the identity you've accepted. This is where belief turns into embodiment. And once embodiment takes root, discipline stops feeling like sacrifice. It becomes self-respect in motion. You no longer chase motivation because your purpose pulls you forward. You wake up knowing what must be done, not because someone told you to, but because your vision demands it. This is the quiet power that separates the extraordinary from the ordinary. Most people wait to feel ready. The few who rise decide to act ready. They understand that confidence is not a prerequisite. It is a byproduct of action, taken repeatedly in the face of uncertainty. They move while afraid. They build while doubting. They progress while imperfect. And in doing so, they build an unshakable inner foundation. Because confidence is not loud. It is stable. It does not need validation. It does not seek approval. It moves forward regardless of applause. This is why setbacks do not break the disciplined mind. They refine it. Failure becomes information. Resistance becomes training. Pressure becomes proof that growth is happening. You stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What is this preparing me for?" That shift alone separates survivors from architects of their own destiny. And slowly, almost imperceptibly, life begins to respond differently. Opportunities appear where none existed. People notice your presence. Doors open that once seemed sealed. Not because of luck, but because you have become someone capable of walking through them. The world does not reward potential. It rewards alignment. When your thoughts, habits, and actions move in the same direction, your results have no choice but to follow. This is the hidden law in motion. And once you see it, you can never unsee it. You understand that greatness is not an accident. It is a decision made daily, a discipline honored in silence, a standard upheld when no one is watching. This is where your rise begins, not with applause, but with resolve. And from that moment forward, nothing about you is average anymore.